this is a show that's been running for 20 years.
Nearly 20 years, yeah. 20th. We start shooting the 20th series in March.
That's unbelievable.
220 territories.
Is it? Are there?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and you're big in Sweden.
Huge in Sweden. You can't... I was in Sweden just before Christmas and people were almost literally chasing me down the street. It was bizarre. Somebody from their main channel said to me, you can have no idea how big the show is here. And we sort of stepped outside and people are walking down the street going, Inspector,
Isn't that great?
It's bizarre. But somebody else said the Swedish feel that Midsomer Murders is a Swedish tradition. It's like they feel it's their show. And
Half
you think,
the country watch it, I think.
It's got, yes, they talk about, you know, audience shares, 55% audience share. So when it's on, more than half the people are watching television.
Yeah.
Anybody would. I mean, you get, like, what, 22, 3, 4, 5...
Well, 48 for this, but we never hit the 50.
Huge.
How do your die-hard fans take all the new faces, like when there's somebody new and you've got decent Jamie?
They seem to be very good about it, because obviously, I suppose, the big one was when John Nettles hung up his truncheon and they said, we're bringing in some other person you've never heard of. It won't last. But just, you know... and I think they all thought, oh, we'll get 1 or 2 episodes out of this, and now I've been doing it for 6 years. So, yeah, people seem to... I think the show...
It adds a different flavour,
the formula of the show is so... It's so rich and such fun that you move the various pieces around and swap bits about, but the show is still the show. I thought, when I went into it, I thought, you've changed one actor, but you've got the same writers, the same directors, the locations, the stories, the guest stars, all the main elements remain the same. If you change one, if you try to change them all at the same time, it might be a bit awkward, but just change. So yes, we've got a new detective sergeant, and our previous lovely dog Sykes had to retire. He's not. He has retired. He hasn't died. In the show, he's written out the show because he retired. But in actual fact,
I'm surprised he wasn't murdered.
Retired. There's a lot of fuss made about these murders, I've got to say, Phil. We've had about...
And a new dog.
What?
You've got a new dog.
Paddy. Oh, a new dog, Paddy. Yeah, it's a very bouncy young dog. He's lovely and gorgeous, yes. But we've only had about 340 murders in 20 years.
Many.
It's 16, 17 murders a year over an area that's the size of Oxfordshire, Berkshire, Buckinghamshire. There've probably been more murders over that real geographical area than in the land of...
I love the fact that when you were watching it, as a fan, you were saying, well, I wonder where that is. That's absolutely beautiful. I wonder where that is. Now you're in it as the star. You end up being driven wherever you're going in the back of the car with your script, and when you get, they still don't know where you are.
I don't know. I never know where I am. We arrived somewhere. We arrived at a new, beautiful village, and I said, this is lovely. Are we in Oxfordshire or Berkshire or where are we? But there's so many beautiful villages. You know, there's books you can get about midsummer locations, and we've met people from Australia, from Sweden, from Germany, Holland, who come to Midsummer on holiday.
Yeah.
So they get this book and they think, oh, we'll go and see where so-and-so was murdered in the pub or drowned in a village pond. And they plan their holiday in England in midsummer.
Well, they don't realise how dangerous it is for you, because there's in one episode you all had to be strapped down because you were in fear of being blown away, like literally for real.
Yes, that was I think it was the first episode of the last series, because like with the snakes in the first episode of this series.
Yeah, I was just going to say
somebody
the
rings
snakes.
up. It occurred to me, I don't think I'd ever really met a snake, so I didn't know whether I would find out. No, it turns out I've got a terrible phobia of snakes and I can't cope. But fortunately, the snakes were charming and lovely. But there was one in the last series, yes, where they said, "How are you with heights?" And I said, "I'm not very good with heights. I get quite vertigo. I'm not good with heights." They said, "Oh, OK." So the whole denouement scene was on top of a cliff, and it happened over 2 days we were filming it. The country was struck by terrible gales. So you're standing there trying to go, now here's the denouement, and you thought, but actually I knew, oh my God, I'm being blown off the cliff. So we all had to be tied to fences and trees and things that had big men sort of holding on to us while you act very sort of casually as though,
I love the fact that they said, how are you with heights? I'm not very good with heights, and they still did it.
In a gale.
It's a courtesy phone call, really, isn't it? It's like they say, how about snakes? Yeah, I think so. Get him some snakes. How are you with cliffs? Not good. Get him a cliff.
If you enjoyed that, there's more of the same right here. And make sure you subscribe so that you never miss the best moments from this morning.